Welcome to the Curve Effect, where confidence meets curves and beauty has no limits. I'm your host, Tammy Taylor, and this is your go-to space for fashion, health, beauty, and all things self-love. Here, we celebrate the power of curves, embrace our bodies unapologetically, and inspire each other to live our fullest, most fabulous lives. Whether it's the latest style trends, wellness tips, or real talk about the real journey to self-confidence, this is where you belong. So get ready to own your curves, walk in your power, and redefine beauty in your own terms. This is the Curve Effect. So let's go. September 1st, a powerful new book arrives on Amazon. Step into a story of resilience, self-discovery, and unshakable faith. Crowned in Confidence, a journey of faith, healing, and freedom. Written by Tammy D. Taylor. All proceeds from this release go directly to the Weight We Carry Women's Initiative, a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering and supporting women on their healing journey. So mark your calendars. September 1st, Amazon, Crowned in Confidence, a journey of faith, healing, and freedom. Don't just read it, live it. Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Tammy T. Welcome to another episode of The Curve Effect, where we embrace all things curvy, confident, and unapologetically you. I got a special treat for you all today. I have this beautiful young lady, beautiful voice. And she's our Curve Effect spotlight for this month. Her name is Kaye Soul. And let me tell you about Kaye Soul. She is an award-winning singer, songwriter. She's a model, actress. Her journey is rooted in music, healing, confidence, and purpose. She's born on the south side of Chicago, and her music blends R&B, gospel, hip hop, and neo soul. And her song, she has a song, Corinthians Love, which was named the 2025 R&B Song of the Year by Exposing Magazine. Exposing Music Awards. She's performed the national anthem. She has appeared on Atlanta Live. She's modeled for Lane Bryant. I mean, she's been in TV shows, Kingdom Business, All the Queen's Men, Chicago PD. Well, enough about me talking about her. Let's bring her on. Again, welcome to the Curve Effect Spotlight, Kaye Soul.
Hey, good
Hey,
evening.
hey, gorgeous. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Thank you for accepting my invitation to sit with me today. I am a fan.
Thank you.
Yeah, I am a fan. Um, so I gave the extensive bio. You do quite a few things, but what is your core? What is it what's your baby out of everything that you do? What's that one? Is it singing?
It's the music for
I
sure.
thought, yeah, I thought so. I thought so. I thought so. So before the music, who was Kaye Soul? Tell me about you.
I've always been a bit of a loner, always been creative, kind of march to the beat of my own drum. I am very soft-hearted, very much kind of like that peaceful, down to earth, quiet type of person, but I do like to have fun, crack jokes, things like that.
Okay, but when you're on stage though, that's a whole different side.
It is, the stage is where I feel like I get more of my confidence from. Like, I feel like in my music, I'm able to express myself in a way that I don't always express myself when I'm talking
Hmm.
to people. It's easier
Hmm.
for me to do that through the music.
Okay, so has it ever been difficult for you to express yourself like that? You say if you're on stage, you're able to, but was there ever a time where that was extremely difficult for you?
I feel like sometimes it still is. I feel like sometimes I still can find more of what I want to say when I write it in a song,
Mm-hmm.
being able to express it. It's definitely gotten better, but the music just feels like safe to me. Sometimes when you're talking to people, you don't always know how they will respond, but in the music, you can just put it all out there, without
Right.
interruptions.
Right. Right. And again, I'm a fan. Um, I am. So I love your music. But this song, Corinthians Love, like what inspired that one? That's a nice track. I like it.
Thank you so much. That song came from, as a creative, I observe the world a lot, looking at how things are going. And I just noticed that a lot of what we call love nowadays is not really love. Things that are being passed off as love are not love. And I started to think about what love is. And as a woman
Hmm.
of faith, I just went straight to scripture, like it's very clear. And so I wanted to make a record that, built that in there and just showed that all of these like help gurus and all of this different stuff that we're into
Right.
nowadays, like it's really not that difficult.
Right, especially the relationship experts
Yeah.
and like that have. I'm like, how do you become? How what makes you a relationship expert? Like I've always wanted to know what
Mhm.
makes a person an expert in relationship. Is it because you've been very successful, or is it because you failed so many times? So, but I agree with you. What's out there now that's masked as love is a lot of times it's lust, it's infatuation, things like that, and it's masked as love. And it's easy to get tricked when you're searching for love, and the first time you get a feeling, you automatically assume it's love because it's what you've been craving it for so long. But again, your song Corinthians Love actually kind of gives a definition of love, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So people don't have to question. I mean, maybe you've been in a situation, a relationship where you're being treated a certain way, and sometimes I think people don't always know that they're not being treated the best.
Hmm.
Because it may not be overt yelling or different things that we may associate with it, but it can still be harmful to our spirit and to our mental
Right.
health. And so I felt like it was a track where people could go and like get a definition, like, wait a minute, this is not love.
Right. This is what she's saying and what I'm dealing with are not the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So, what has music helped you heal in any way? Does it, or I mean, because for me, music is, I love music. I can't sing, but I love music. So a lot of times, if I'm feeling a certain way, I can cut on a certain song and it'll change the way I'm feeling. So, has that ever happened to you? And if so, is there a song that you can remember specifically that helped heal you?
Music is definitely healing for me. I like to consider myself as a healing artist, and that is one of the big purposes behind the music and why I make the type of music that I make. Um,
Hmm.
because, like you said, it can be a moment in time and you listen to a certain song and it can make you feel better or you can relate to it and it feels like the person is like singing about your life, and it can really
Right.
carry you through. I mean, I have so many songs that I could go to that have carried me through, but I want to say one of them was Fred Hammond, No Weapon. That song
Hmm.
has just been one of my staple go to. Like when I feel like I'm going through, it's just one of those songs that I can put on and it really motivates me to keep moving forward.
Yeah, yeah. I have a song like that. Mine is Yolanda Adams, In the Midst of It All.
Nice.
That's
Okay.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one I had it. Yeah, that's one of my go-tos actually. So what is your who is your biggest inspiration?
I would say my biggest inspiration is my daughter. I
Mm-hmm.
have a teenage daughter, and I just want to show her, we can tell our children a lot. We can talk to them, but they are really looking at us. And
Mm-hmm.
so my goal is to just show her what life can look like when you're, chasing your dreams, when you're living life to the fullest, when you're not being bound by people's expectations or
Right.
boxes or things that they want to put you in. So she inspires me every day to get up, work hard, and to, continue to move forward so that she has an example of what it looks like to be a strong and independent woman.
That's your why.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's your why. I can definitely relate to that as
Yeah.
well. I can definitely relate to that. Now, do you feel okay? So your daughter inspires you. Do you feel that you're a role model for other young women? Do you accept that role model title in any way?
I do. I definitely do. That's always been something that's been near and dear to my heart. I actually mentor through the Recording Academy.
Oh,
So,
okay.
giving advice to other young artists that are coming up. And I've done, mentoring throughout. But it's definitely something that I hold close to me. I know different artists sometimes feel differently about that. They don't want to be put out there as a role model, but I don't
Right.
mind because I am trying to live my life in that type of way, and I do
Mm-hmm.
want people to be able to be inspired by that.
Okay. Yeah, that title holds a lot of responsibility. And,
Yeah.
when you're considered a role model, it holds a lot of responsibility because a lot of people are looking to you to, for your next step so they can see what they need to do in their life, their next step. And then you also have those that are looking to see you fail because, so it's a big responsibility when you are in that role model role. Or see, so just because you're in this industry, you're not necessarily a role model, and I absolutely respect the fact that you have taken on that role model role because I have a lot of respect for you. I've seen you perform live, and you're great. I love your music and your spirit. You know, I think yeah, and your spirit. So let's talk about your album, Heavy Set. This celebrates self-worth and challenging society's expectation, which is something that I am all for. That's what I stand for. So, what inspired that message?
Gosh, Heavy Set was in the making for a few years. As an artist, whenever I create, there's always a meaning behind it. I'm never just making a song just because I want to hear myself singing a song. I'm always trying to give a message. And so Heavy Set always started out as like this double meaning, being, heavy set as a person. People call curvy women heavy set, but also the heavy set pressures of society and the
Hmm.
world on us, and wanting to speak
Hmm.
those things and what it feels like to be a person in society, living with those expectations, what it feels like to me, but also what it looks like to me from the outside looking in.
Okay. Yeah. And again, that's my thing. That's what the Curve Effect stands for. That's what Tammy D. Taylor stands for. That's I can totally understand and respect that. Now, have you ever felt pressure to change your image in this industry because of this industry? Have they ever pressured you and said, they want you to change your image, change what you stand for, change your size? Have you ever had that pressure?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially early on, being a fuller woman has become much more acceptable now, of course,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
that's been a process. And, we
Yes.
still have hurdles and things that we still have to get over because of
Yep.
the stigma and stereotypes that come with that. But I've definitely had people specifically say, like, oh, no, but maybe have another artist do it and you write it or you sing it, but we'll put this artist out there, let them be the face,
Yeah.
So I've experienced that on some different levels, and it's hard to sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it can discourage you. You
I can
wonder, like,
imagine.
okay, well, maybe I am holding myself back by not, changing my appearance or what I stand for. Because even doing more raunchier type of music and those pressures and things like
Right.
that.
Right. So do you feel that because you didn't, you stood on what you stand for, uh has your do they still do that? Like, are you still catching that same flack? The type of music you make, do they say, you would, if you made this kind of music, this would sell, this would be on the radio, this would do this. Do you still deal with that?
I do still get some of that. Now, of course, I've definitely gotten to the point where I get more respect. People respect my artistry more. I've been around long
Mm-hmm.
enough now where it's like, okay, this is what she do. She's not this is what she
Right.
wants to do.
Yeah.
But, I still get people, even on the flip side of that, they're like, you should just stop everything and be traditional gospel. And I'm like, well, that's not really fully my sound. But,
Mm-hmm.
so everybody's always going to have those pressures, I
Right.
think, and those
Yeah.
things that they feel like they want you to be. And so I still feel like I have to stand firm on the vision that God
Right.
has given me for my artistry.
Right. So, with that, when you're saying there's people have said, why don't you go strictly gospel? Um, your music, like, is the R&B, the soul, but it reflects your faith.
Hmm.
So it's like you are a mesh between the two. I absolutely love it because I consider myself a mesh between the two, you know. But so do you feel that this is something it's coming around now? Because there's a couple of artists that I like that do the same type of mesh. I don't know the word. I'm gonna say mesh because it's R&B, but you can tell, you know
Hmm.
that you can tell that this person is a person of faith. Is this becoming more of a acceptance now?
I think it's definitely becoming um more accepted, yes. You're seeing more artists in the forefront kind of doing what they're calling it, like gospel R&B, soul gospel type. And I'm still a little, I don't know how I feel about all the labels because I still think that may put a different type of pressure on it as to what people will
Hmm.
expect, especially
Hmm.
when you add the gospel title. But
Hmm.
I still think there's pushback because, especially in the gospel side of the industry, people, they want what they want, traditional
Right.
gospel music. They want
Right.
you to be
Yeah.
saying certain things in the music. And so sometimes they're giving you the side eye because it's like you can't do both. You can't serve two masters. And it's like, I don't really look at it like that, and it's very
Right.
much who I am and it's very much the music that I've been given. So,
Hmm. And you keep on doing it
yeah.
because it's always somebody's always gonna say something, no matter
Yeah,
what you do. So
exactly.
even if you went straight traditional, got somebody gonna say something about that. So
Yeah.
you're actually making your own lane, and I love that about you as well. And yeah, I do. I love that. Absolutely love that about you. Um, so as a, I don't want to say, but as a full figured or a plus size or curvy woman, have people strictly judged you based off of your size or your shape before even hearing your talent, hearing your voice?
Absolutely. I think there are definitely spaces in this industry where they just want you to have a certain appeal, that
Hmm.
certain look that they
Hmm.
want.
Mm-hmm.
maybe an Instagram model type look, if you will, that we see a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they assume that. I've also had people, I'll never forget, I did a show, finished my set. This young
Mm-hmm.
man comes back to me. He's like, "Oh gosh, you must work out a lot because I would have been so tired up there singing all that time." I'm like, "So you looked at me and assumed I was gonna run out of breath on stage just because you ran out of breath on stage because you don't rehearse?" Like,
Oh my God.
that was what he was trying to insinuate, and I was like, "Wow." So
Wow.
but
Mm,
I just moved to the point where I can show people better than I can tell them because people are
exactly.
always going to assume something.
Right.
It doesn't matter, like you said, what you do. So I just let my fruit speak for itself.
Exactly. Let your fruit speak for itself.
Mhm.
Because again, you represent you represent the curve effect. Like everything about you is the curve effect. So I can definitely relate to a lot. I don't sing, I'm not an artist, but I can relate to a lot of what you're talking about based on other things that I do. So the fact that, I got you on the show, I'm I'm elated. So yeah. So how did you go from your singing to modeling and acting?
Those are always things that are kind of, I feel like, par for the course when you're in the entertainment space. I've
Mm-hmm.
always wanted to model. I've always wanted to act. I did like drama club when I was in school.
Mm,
And so the modeling I started getting with a couple of local designers when I was living in Chicago.
okay.
And I started doing some fashion shows with them and just doing a lot of the fashion shows there and branching out. And then I got into Full Figure Fashion Week. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't end up modeling there, but I ended up singing there. But it opened the door for me to meet different people
Right.
and end up wearing like one of the designers who was showcasing there. So it's just been one of those things that those worlds come together, and I love
Mm-hmm.
fashion. And then the
Mm-hmm.
acting, I just started getting a lot of extra opportunities when I was in Chicago, and then when I came here, that's when I got the opportunity on Kingdom Business. So I think it's just been a part of me trying to continue to branch out and grow as an
Mm-hmm.
entertainer and in this space, and just being
Mm-hmm.
blessed with those opportunities.
Okay. All right. So what would be a lesson that you want the next generation of creatives to understand? Something that you've gone through that you would just love to prevent them from going through.
You have to know it for yourself. Like, you have to be so confident and so sure about what it is that you bring to the table. Because once
Mm-hmm.
you start to go out and put it out into the world, sometimes people will say things to you to discourage you, not even because it's true, but because they are intimidated or they see the light and they don't want your light nowhere around because they feel like it's going to dim their light or what they have going on. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
that you know what you bring to the table, that you are that girl, that guy, that you got it all together. Not that you're above learning and growing, but you just got
Right.
to know what it is, what that
Mm-hmm.
light is, that thing that you got on you. You have
Mm-hmm.
to know it and you have to protect it. You have
Mm-hmm.
to protect it. Don't let people talk you out of your dreams,
Mm-hmm.
discourage you, because people will be quick to tell you what not to do, especially if it's something they've never done themselves.
Yeah, they will. It a lot of times it's the ones that don't know that are
Mm.
quick to, they're quick to judge or whatever. So your many years in this industry, many years doing what you're doing, do you still battle? Are there times? because I'm not going to say you still bad, but are there times where you still have to give yourself a confidence check? You still kind of, you have to give yourself a check.
Absolutely. I'm not even going to front. I absolutely
Girl.
there are days,
Hmm.
you know how it goes. Some days
Yes,
you wake up
ma'am.
and you like, yes, I woke up like this. And other days you like, no, this is me.
Right, right, right. And then you get out there and everybody think you just was, yeah, I woke like you gotta turn it on. Some days you have to literally go like you turning on an oven. You gotta go turn it on.
Rev yourself up, get it together.
Be in the mirror, girl. You got this, girl. You got this.
Got it. Yeah, for sure. And I think we're human, so I think like that's always going to happen. Cause sometimes I'll be
Hmm.
feeling like, oh, you know, why are you feeling like that? Why you still have self doubt? You know, because you don't want it to cripple you, but you're
Right,
human. You
right.
know, and as I feel like as we grow and we do different things, we go to different levels. There may be some fear, but I think a little fear is good because it tells us that we're still pushing ourselves.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly,
so we just gotta
exactly.
have those mirror pep talks and
Right.
walk out the door, keep it going.
Girl, the mirror pep talks are a real thing.
Yeah.
Woo, honey. That is a that they are real people. And if, and I think that it keeps us in touch with ourselves. We're
Mhm.
never bigger than, and sometimes, like you said, when you there's a little fear, a lot of times that's when you are moving to the next level or you moving somewhere where, in unfamiliar territory. And that's called elevation,
Mhm.
right? Right. So, what's next for K Soul? What are you elevating to? What's next?
Well, you know, I went to France this summer. I made my international debut. So thank you.
Yay!
I released a record called Anybody Out There while I was in France. And so that record has been doing well. I got a couple of shows coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'm nominated for a Praise Factor Award.
You
So
are. That's right. Congratulations. You are. I'm trying
you
to get. I want to. I think I'm gonna be there. I
coming?
think I'm.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 The Praise
Yeah, they
Factor.
need
That's
to
in
get you up
September,
there
right?
presenting. Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
so I'm doing that and working on some new music to go along with the
Hmm.
new single. So, you know,
Yeah.
just pushing it out there, man. Just trying to stay focused and push out this music.
Okay. All right. Last thing, and I asked this for all of my guests. What do you want your legacy to be?
That's a good question. Um I definitely want to leave a legacy of healing.
Hmm.
I want to leave people inspired to believe in themselves and to be good people, you know, to
Hmm.
genuinely be good hearted, good natured people and to understand that everything really is spiritual, you
Right.
know, so we have to be
Right.
mindful of what we watch, what we say, what we do. All of these things matter, so I want to leave a legacy that shows that um, you know, when you are tapped into the spirit, you can live an elevated life, you know, and
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can make your mark on the world in a way that inspires and uplift others. And if someone can like listen to a song and feel inspired and feel healed and feel motivated, then I will feel very happy about that.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Well, tell everybody where we can find you, ma'am.
You can find me on my website, ksoulmusic.com. I'm very active on my Instagram at ksoulmusic. That's all of my handles at ksoulmusic. All of my music is Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, wherever you're listening to your music, you can stream my music as well.
All right. Thank you so much again for sitting with me. I am honored and I do appreciate you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
absolutely. And feel free to come back when you got something you want to put out, you want to promote. Reach out. I will gladly have you back.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good one. Okay.
All right, good night.
Good night. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Curve Effect. Remember, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't ever let anybody make you believe any different. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye. September 1st, a powerful new book arrives on Amazon. Step into a story of resilience, self discovery, and unshakable faith. Crowned in Confidence, a journey of faith, healing, and freedom. Written by Tammy D. Taylor. All proceeds from this release go directly to the Weight We Carry Women's Initiative, a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering and supporting women on their healing journey. So mark your calendars. September 1st, Amazon, Crowned in Confidence, a journey of faith, healing, and freedom. Don't just read it, live it.